Asshole, you talk me into this again.
Welcome back to Project Slam, formerly Slam Radio, out of Kansas City. I'm Frank.
Corey here.
And J-Babs.
Yeah, we're back, finally.
We're back.
4 years we've been trying to think of what to do to make it better after we shut it down. Actually, even back in the same room. Even though anybody that's been down here knows this room, you probably don't recognize it from everything that we've done for the past year.
Frank, I've lived in this room for 10 years, and I don't recognize it.
This has been a lot of work. We have a kind of an awesome setup. So what this comes down to is this is the Project Slam side of Project Backstage.
Exactly.
And what we're doing is kind of the same thing we did before. Kind of in content. I don't know. Help me out here.
Well, I definitely think, instead of going the cliche route and adding 2.0 at the end of Slam, it's a new, improved. I mean, so much has changed. Not just in the world, but just on the technical side. That's why a lot of people, when we started talking about relaunching almost a year ago, are probably gave up on us and thought we weren't going to get around to it. But the truth is so many of the laws, everything changed, technology changed.
The governmental regulation on streaming in general has changed so much from 4 years ago. It's painful.
Yeah, when people would ask me, "Hey, I thought you were relaunching," I'm like, "We're doing it." It just was a little bit more of a task than we thought, but dug deep and got everything done. And I've been telling everybody about this studio. I wish I could take a little bit of credit for what you guys have done here, but it's amazing. I mean, the room itself looks different, but the setup. Those people that were involved last time, maybe you came in and interviewed. When you get a look at the studio for the first time, you're going to be amazed. It's completely different. It's just not an audio studio. But basically, these guys have built a full-fledged multi-studio.
And right now, our cameras are kind of where they are. Honestly, we ran out of time. We set a launch date. We went for today for the past month. And it was a little fast, to say the least.
Yeah,
and,
well, I think,
but
if this is where we start, Frank,
yeah,
it's a good place to start, And if anybody remembers Slam first time around, we were constantly updating and upgrading. And so if this is where we're starting, it excites me to see and to imagine where we're going to be in just a month. Because I know you're constantly going to be upgrading, bringing new gadgets, new toys in here.
I've got techno-lust like no other. If it's technology, I've got to have it. But with that said, if you're watching on YouTube on our Project Gaming KC channel out there, if you make any comments anywhere on Facebook or YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, Periscope, any of these places we're broadcasting to, it'll show up on. If you look at Corey's camera, can you pull Corey's full screen, Jason?
Give me a second.
He wasn't ready for me here. And we're still learning the software. But if you look on Corey's screen, you can see we have multiple monitors in here. Like I said, our camera angles aren't the best yet. We're working on that this next week. But we have multiple monitors where we can see what's going on. I can see Patrick Garrett commenting. I can see Dottie commenting. Matthew Wilburn. No matter where you comment from, it shows up on that big blue screen over Corey's head. So we can see that you're talking to us, and we encourage you to give us feedback and tell us what's going on. But yeah. For all of those that thought that this would never happen again, and that we've talked about this for 2 years.
Mm-hmm. We've missed it.
Honestly, you were almost right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of times that we almost threw in the towel.
Heck, just last night down here, I can tell, like, it looks finally like you've got a night sleep.
Yeah. And I went home at 3 o'clock this morning. Yeah. And was back here at noon.
I mean, you took a week off of work.
Yeah.
Just to get things ready for tonight. So
we were that far behind on our launch date.
Right.
We made it. Project Slam. This is what Project Slam will be. It's kind of what we did before.
Right.
Instead of just audio, now we have video. Now we'll have people in the studio. You can see them. You can see and hear them, I should say.
For the eye hole and the ear hole. is what I've been saying.
I'm still trying to figure out that whole whatever.
The whole thing.
Now, Jason swore he was going to talk about this. I just lost my screen. Jason swore we were driving down here, and like I said, I didn't go home till 3 o'clock in the morning again after working down here. And we're driving over here, and I'll let you take over this.
So yeah, coming down the street, we get to a stoplight. Frank Turner looks at me and goes, "Where's Aftershock?" I kind of looked at him and was like, about a half mile behind us. He just completely drove right past it.
Is that lack of sleep or just getting old, or a combination of both?
I think it's both. I mean, in 4 years, a lot of things have happened.
Oh.
And I didn't have these on.
Neither did I. Look
So
at both
I didn't
of
even
us.
see the venue.
Hey. At least
we
you
were
guys
driving
both
by.
have hair.
So,
Well, who knows? After this run, this time,
I'm trying to grow mine out.
Neither one of us may. So anyway, it's good to be back. It's I got to before we went live, Frank and we were all talking about like, are you nervous? Yes, I'm nervous. I don't remember being nervous before.
Alan's watching. Thank you, man.
Yep. But this time around, I think first time we were just going with it. We really didn't know what we were doing. We were having fun, but you give us that break, and then to relaunch, we obviously wanted to go bigger, better, take it in a totally different direction with keeping, to the meat and potatoes of what it was all about before. But yeah, I have to admit, I was a little bit nervous going into this, and I still am. But I think hopefully as we go along, we'll kind of those nerves will subside, and we'll kind of get a better feel of what we're doing. But anyway,
nervous is the word coming into tonight. But welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in again. After 4 years, this feels good being back in the seat.
I'm with you right there. So really quick, I know we're paying attention to the show clock. We want to keep things on a timely manner here. But I think first and foremost, a lot of people over the last few weeks they're asking me, all right, so what is a little bit of confusion? What is
There's
Project
3 divisions.
Backstage, Project Slam, Project Gaming?
Let's go into Project Backstage first. It's
All right.
one of the most easy to describe. Project Backstage is really just a reiteration of what it used to be. Currently, I'm going to hold back on what I was just going to talk about. We've done some things in the past, and we've done things to support local music. And in its first iteration that went for, 6 years, 7 years, something like that.
Oh gosh, yeah.
We really kind of focused in on just local Kansas City.
Right.
And I hate the term local band because it doesn't really encompass what you mean when you say a local band. Local is wherever you're at. If you're in LA, a local band to you is the bands there in LA.
Exactly.
And being on the internet, whether it's Project Backstage, Project Slam, whatever, you hear we support local bands. Well, wherever you're at, that's your local.
Right.
So it's easier to say unsigned or unrepresented bands is kind of where we kind of really, I don't know, that's where we pigeonholed into last time.
Right.
And it's great. It's fun. And we're not abandoning that by any means. But we also want to have a more rounded entertainment source.
Something that encompasses
A full magazine
exactly.
of different topics. And that's where we're kind of going to go with it this time. We're going to have your national acts coverage, your local bands, whether they're here local to us here in Kansas City, or whether they're local to you in Seattle.
Every band is
or
local to
local
some
in Nashville.
city. Yes.
Just for example. And on top of that, the Project Gaming, Alan is the primary writer on it, and he covers a lot of VR stuff or virtual reality. And he's been doing an amazing job. He's been flooding that site with articles. The music side, maybe not so much just yet, but we're getting ready to kick that up. We've been waiting for launch because this has been our priority to make sure that Slam made its launch date. And by the way, Tucker, I don't mean to cut out. This is the first show. I want to kind of talk to the listeners as they're asking. Tucker Orton asked, what bit rate are you guys streaming at? We are at 3 megs a second right now. So,
And that means what? to a guy like me that knows zilch.
He was asking what bit rate we're streaming at. We're broadcasting at 3 megs a second or 3000K with a 192 audio stream, 192K audio stream. I hope that answers his question. But back to Project Backstage, it's going to be more of a fully encompassed magazine, because whenever we put articles up of the locals or unsigned, unrepresented bands, we want to have a base that's actually going to read besides just those bands' friends.
Right.
And we feel that that's going to represent and really help the unrepresented community to maybe find a new fan. That someone reads an article and sees a YouTube video or sees a clip from SoundCloud or something like that, where in that article we're writing about that band, might pick up a new fan or two that way. So we want to have a bigger swath. So while it seems a little confusing right now, as more content gets into the site and we divide it out and make it a little bit more clear on how to get around the site, you can't do that without content. So we're fighting a double-edged sword there for the design, but it will be there. Also, Project Slam and Project Gaming will have their own pages. Soon you'll be able to watch just directly through the website instead of having to go to all these different places like Twitch. I mean, we'll still broadcast to all of them, but
right.
It'll be a centralized place, and our app will be back. And it will encompass Project Backstage, Project Slam, and Project Gaming all in one. We haven't finished that. We're getting Chad Ruddle involved, along with David Merchbrock, and their graphics capabilities and some of their programming capabilities to bring that back right before we just launch a turd. And we want to make sure it's right before we put it up in the stores.
It's got to be a sexy turd.
Right. It's got to be something you want to pet. So. And
all this technical talk is very, very sexy, but let's move on.
Dottie says she would puke with virtual reality. She can't even stomach the Spyro, the dragon running in circles. Now, virtual reality, you had your first test of virtual reality yesterday. I put the headset on you. Yeah. That was awesome.
That's all I need. My first experience can be my last, and I'm okay with that. I couldn't believe it, I mean, it was beyond what I even expected. I'm just not a gamer, so I'm completely out of the loop on that technology. So I should have known when you strapped that helmet on my head.
We have the PSVR, PlayStation Virtual Reality, down here in the studio for the Project Gaming side, and I was like, Corey, play this. Just simple Beat Saber. A lot of people have played Beat Saber. They'll relate to what game I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think you kind of knew that it wouldn't go over well with me. I think that's why you talked me into it.
The wall came at him.
Yeah, I almost dove head first, face planted into the wall.
He did. He almost went straight into the drywall.
Said, this is it. Enough. I'm done.
He ripped that headset off. But anyway, VR is really not that bad.
Yeah.
You're afraid of it, but it's really not that bad.
Yeah, it's something that maybe I would rather get used to in a non-public place.
Well, we didn't broadcast it. We weren't that mean.
Yeah, and that was called Beat Saber.
Yeah. Where you have the two move controllers. And
that was crazy.
Corey needs to play Beat Saber.
No, I played it, Alan, and it was it really melted my brain, man.
Kyle Bacchus, how you doing, man? I'm glad to see you. But seriously, follow our streams. We'll go ahead and we'll take a quick break. We're going to cut this because we have gone a little bit long here. When we come back, we'll talk more about what Project Slam is and what it will be, along with Project Gaming. We're going to talk about a couple shows that are coming to Slam. Balderdash Boys, and also another show that you might be surprised that we're going to carry.
I'm excited about it. I am so excited.
I'm excited about it too. It's kind of awesome. Plus, we'll have Forever Gray in studio in our second hour with their reunion.
Yeah,
show
they're going to drop by and tell us about the reunion show. It's called Femme Fatale. Again, 8:00 hour. Those guys will be dropping in. A lot of good stuff, so stick around.
Project Slam.
Just take a breath, you're turning blue. It's the emptiness surrounding a broken girl who came unglued. We must reconnect all the pieces and lead this on to bury the path that keeps breaking us. Admit to the fact that you can't hold on. And I found out a simpler way to extract your selfish ways. It's the empty smile you're faking that shows the lack of change. Still the thought of you just fading. It's just too much to take. We must reconnect all the pieces and lead this on to bury the path that keeps breaking us. Admit to the fact that you can't hold on.
Come out of your bed.
Oh, we're back, guys. We're still not used to this yet. Hey, Corey, come back. We're live.
We are live.
Yeah.
The one downside of doing the music videos is there is no bottom ticker to see how left
there's
on the
no
video.
timing
So
at all.
So I'm literally gauging by the delay.
And we were not ready. Project Slam, welcome back. We are finally live again. We're on YouTube at Project Gaming KC, Twitch at Project Backstage, and we're going to have to adjust some of this because I wasn't thinking about this whenever, just because of the 3 division. But anyway, long story short, YouTube, Project Gaming KC, on Twitch at Project Backstage, on Mixer at Project Gaming. Obviously, we're on Facebook, with Project Gaming and Project Backstage. And then if you're on Periscope, Project Gaming KC.
So many platforms, Frank.
Oh, and there's more. This is just kind of our primary ones that you can watch through that a lot of people will know. Because there's like Smashcast, and there's some other ones in there that are more international than they are
Really,
to the U.S. right now.
We're really reaching out there this time, The audience is going to be huge.
Want to say hi to Rory Sirks. Saw him in the chat.
Hello, Rory. Rory's got a new band.
He does. What's the name of it? I haven't.
You know what? I bring something like that up, and then I don't even have an answer.
Rory, put it in the chat.
Rory's going to put it in
band.
the chat. So, but yeah, it's good. You see a lot of bands making musicians that have kind of been on hiatus, all of a sudden making a comeback. So, and speaking of, Forever Gray will be stopping by in the 8 o'clock hour.
Yep.
To talk about their
the second hour, because if you're
hour.
watching this in replay, you don't know what time it is here.
Yeah. So they'll be by soon.
But
anyway, let's get back to talking about exactly what we have going on here.
This is Project Slam. We already talked about Project Backstage, which is the encompassing entity of all of this, so to speak.
Right.
Project Slam, this is one of the divisions of it, and this is our live side. This is our throw to up-and-coming musicians and unrepresented musicians to try to help boost them a little bit. Obviously, you can see we're playing videos in our breaks. That was something we kind of kept under wraps.
Right.
And we would like to see newer videos because we went with what we knew.
Send them over. We need new videos. You know what? I've been explaining.
Send the studio at projectbackstage.com. Just email your links. Say, hey, go grab my stuff. And we know how to do that.
Exactly. How I've been explaining the things is like Project Backstage is like ABC, and then we have programs under that umbrella, if you will. Is that a good one? Is that a good way to?
It would be more like Disney.
Like Disney.
We're not that big, but let me just and we're not trying to represent that we're Disney by any means. Please don't take that. I just thought about that. I'm putting this out there, and that was a bad. But anyway, Disney owns ABC, and they own ESPN, and they own all these different divisions. So that is a good analogy, but we're not as big as Disney. We don't have that kind of money.
Well, I don't. Right. I didn't mean that we were that big. So we're like Disney.
Chris Lana, see you soon. He's part of Forever Gray. He's up in the chat right now.
Yep.
So yes, we are watching the chat. Please interact. We love it. We like to know you're there.
Right. So we know we've talked about Project Backstage, and we kind of got into Project Slam.
Right. And we're gonna Project Slam. This is kind of an unnamed show right now.
Right.
Yeah, this is kind of going to be like it was last time. It's kind of the anchor show where we come in every Thursday night and we'll talk about stuff that's going on in music. And tonight, not so much, since this is all kind of a pilot, so to speak. Tonight's more of just getting everybody acquainted with where we're going to be going with all of this. So normally we'll talk about music, what's going on in music. It's more of the music news show than anything else. We'll talk about sports. Obviously, we're from Kansas City. The Chiefs are in the Super Bowl for the first time in 50 years.
Yeah, I think anything goes, right?
Yes, and I can't believe I just said that. It felt so good to say that. I'm a huge Chiefs fan, but I'm also a 49ers fan. That's where I'm torn. And Matt Wilburn, who's part of Forever Gray, when he gets down here, he's in the same boat.
Right, and I think you had we were talking earlier about show prep, and you had some things to say about some of the latest out of San Francisco. We'll get onto that.
Oh
a little
yeah,
bit later.
that was
So,
that's a whole nother topic.
So-
But we'll talk about some sports. We'll talk about, but our primary goal is music and unrepresented artists. I'm going to stop calling them locals because that is such a hard term to explain, understand. It's just
I'm with
it's
you.
a bad term.
I think it's a good idea. Let's
So
put a jar up. And anytime someone says local,
a buck goes in
you
it.
got to put a buck in.
We'll have this whole studio redone in a week.
So that's a
so.
perfect way of funding.
I think so. So I'm going to wipe that word out of my vocabulary right now. So,
But unrepresented artists, that's where we're going to try to focus on. Because there's a lot of good upcoming artists, not only here in Kansas City, but even look at Omaha and look at Des Moines, look L.A. always.
always.
Seattle, same
Austin's
way.
always got a great music
Austin's
scene.
got an amazing music scene.
So,
Nashville.
so obviously I know this, but for our listeners' sake, Project Slam, Project Backstage, Project Gaming are 3 different entities and not the same. Does that make sense, Frank?
Yes. They're different, but the same.
Okay, so with that being said, if you're listening now, you're listening to Project Slam. What is exactly Project Gaming?
Project Gaming is our game streaming side and our game news side. Project Slam will kind of cross into that a little bit with some of the shows that we have coming up. Christina Cook's sons, for example, he's going to be working on tabletop games, board games, things that are played on a tabletop, non-video.
Non-video,
And
right?
Putting out how to play these games, what they are. If you have interest in tabletop, I think that's a very underrated. It could be just my age. I think it's an underrated area of gaming because I went to Planet Comic-Con last year,
Right.
And downstairs there was this whole room of nothing but all these tabletop games, and it was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. Watching all these people play these things and watching how the rules all work and just being away from that video side. I love video games as well. Ask anybody. I'm overly indulged in video games. But the tabletop side is just amazing on how they're developing these things. And some of these things get pretty friggin' elaborate. They get out there.
10 years ago, you tried to suck me into that, and you talked me into going out and buying this big box of game cards. What was that?
Oh, Magic the Gathering.
Magic the Gathering, and then you picked through there and picked all the cards you wanted,
Yep, and I let you have all the trash.
and you let me have all the trash.
Yep, I took all your foils and all your rares.
I knew
But-
then it wasn't something I would ever win in, as long as I was probably playing with you, and I still have those cards.
Oh, trust me, after playing Frank and Magic, he cheats.
Frank cheats? No.
Oh, he does.
I don't believe that for a moment.
I don't cheat in Magic.
He plays forbidden cards.
I don't play
all the cards
banned
that you
cards.
can't play, he plays. And then he
I
tells
do
you,
have
"Oh
a
no, I
Broken
can play.
Lotus.
It's off the ban list."
If anybody knows what that is, or not a Broken Lotus, a Black Lotus. Broken Lotus is a whole nother story.
Keep that in your pants.
I have a Black Lotus that I just can't. Nobody. It's a very valuable card. I can't let it go. I've had some pretty significant offers for it, but.
All right. See.
But back onto this.
Losing me here.
This is where the gaming side. So come back to this. Mostly it's our video gaming streams,
Right.
Where we'll get on there and we'll party up with, like I've been partying up with some other musicians here locally. I don't want to go throwing names yet because I don't know
Who would be cool with that?
Right. So, and we hop on games like Call of Duty, like the newest Modern Warfare, which YouTube decided to tag it as Call of Duty 4, which I'm not sure on that one. But anyway, been playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and we'll get on there, and I believe it's entertaining. People that watch it have given good reviews that it gets pretty damn funny. But it also, it's more of, I can't explain the appeal for even me whenever I sit there and watch Twitch or watch Mixer and watch other people play. Besides the fact that there's just something about it. And I enjoy streaming. I enjoy interacting with people that are throwing up in the chat, that are, it's just this whole kind of realm that I can't explain to you. You would have to actually do it or be part of it to understand. But people who are gamers, and especially in the video game side, understand what I'm saying. People who are not gamers that don't play video games, they don't care what I'm saying right now, and they have no interest.
That's me right now. Like, my responses right now are just autopilot. I'm just throwing you, yep. Uh-huh.
But that's going to be our gaming side. It's mainly for the Project Backstage side. It's about news and about VR and about games that are coming out or developments or studio mergers or things that people that are into gaming really like. And it's going to be, like I said, it's going to my son, who this hurts to say, Joey will be 19 next month, but he's got a show that's coming on to Project Slam. I almost said Slam Radio again. That's going to take a little while to get used to.
Put $1 in the radio bucket.
Project Slam, he's going to have Boulder Dash Boys, and he'll be in a little bit later. He'll explain what that show is going to be about. I don't want to steal any of that thunder. But Project Gaming is very much a niche side of this that either you care about it or you don't. And for those that do care about it, we're going to try to represent it well.
Right. Maybe a little bit later down the road, maybe I can have my own channel, Project Porn. Just an idea.
When we last 37 minutes, that's a record. Okay.
Okay, but I'm looking at my list of words that you said I could not say, and I don't see the word porn on there. So,
Jenny Jenkins, Joseph Cook, Ahmad. Oh my! Can you read that? Because I can't see it from here. Ahmad, Aaron Iverson, Kyle Bacchus. Thank you all. Nicholas Kraft. Good to see you, man. I haven't seen you in a while. Joe Daugherty. I can never say his last name. He gets so mad at me. I need to play some of the new Tom Clancy with him. He's been wanting me to party up with him. I need to do that.
he's probably good.
Probably. He's probably going to own me.
I'm sure
But,
he probably will.
Tucker Orton, he's in the chat. So
Tucker.
Everybody, seriously, thank you. We're trying to recognize everybody that we see tonight. Dottie, of course, is in there. So
Really quick, everyone, you're listening. Give us a quick share. Let's looks like we've got all the streams full. Let's really pack it out. Let's turn the party up. I think it's about time to go to a commercial. When we come back, we'll start talking about some cool stuff going on in music.
We'll talk about some music.
Yeah.
We'll do what we're supposed to do.
Exactly.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. So if Frank has bored you with all the gaming stuff, we're going to get into the rock and roll.
Gaming's not boring, damn it.
I know. This will be something that I will just peck at him over the next few weeks. Actually, he's dragging me into this gaming, and I went out and bought a couple games, and if I can figure them out.
He's in the Call of Duty now. Don't let him fool you.
I want to see Corey play WoW.
Oh, man. That would be intense.
That'd be fun.
But Project Slam, you're watching us on ProjectBackstage.com. Please follow our channels at Project Gaming KC on YouTube, at Project Backstage on Twitch, Project Gaming on Mixer, or if you're on Periscope, Project Gaming KC. Project Slam will be back after this. Are we good? Are we good? We'll figure this out. Project Slam.
Yes, we are good.
We're good.
Live from the secret room at Aftershock in Merriam, Kansas. Real quick, want to go through our broadcasting places again. Please go like or subscribe to all of these. We really need the followers. We're just starting out. People that have ever done this understand this. YouTube, Project Gaming KC, all one word. Twitch, Project Backstage. Mixer, Project Gaming, and Periscope, Project Gaming KC. Obviously on Facebook and Twitter, we're out there as well. Just go and give us a follow. Coming back from the break, we played Sidewise. I think it's their latest one.
No,
not their latest one.
I don't think so. I didn't see Sean in
I've
that
been out of the
video.
music scene and in a hole, covered
Yeah.
in dirt and a few rocks.
Well,
for
I think
4
it's all
years.
good. You know,
I'm not
I love
real-
seeing something like you. Jason just played Cauldron Point. That band hasn't been around for a while, but it's like
Right.
awesome to see that video because I forgot all about them until just now. So that's awesome.
And we're going to play some other old stuff
Yeah.
that people haven't been around for a while because we need people to actually have videos to let us know where they're at.
That's right.
Oh.
So get us your videos, and we'll get them on the air. So the last two segments, we talked about what is going on here with Project Backstage, Project Slam, Project Gaming. and
Project Porn, apparently.
Project Porn,
So-
which I'm heading up. I'll be the mastermind.
Yeah.
Kabow.
That is not a segment of Project Backstage.
But we do
on
have
there.
some other shows that we are going to be launching in the
That's
near
like
future.
Project Rockstar.
Yeah, and we will talk about that.
Yeah.
We will talk about Project Rockstar, Project Porn, and the other shows that we haven't talked about in the second hour. So, but now, let's get down and dirty, and let's talk about some slam, some music stuff.
So, Shadow Sin. You wanted to come back to them?
Yeah,
So
I wanted to kind of talk about a lot of the. I'm not going to drop that word. Some of my favorite musicians are dropping music. Shadow Sin just dropped a new album. It's really good. It's called Time.
I need to listen to that still. I haven't heard it yet.
It's the best one yet.
Okay.
And, hands down, just great. The production, the songwriting, everything's just really over the top. Cool thing about that is one of the newest members, Matt Richards. He's a new guitarist. He also owns Avenue Records, so he owns his own label.
Okay.
Owns his own studio. So, can you imagine being a band with that at your disposal?
No, that in itself is awesome. But just I've known people who've owned studios before, and they are usually the most absolutely worn out people because they're constantly working.
Yeah.
And owning a studio is not for the faint of heart.
Well, if
And they wonder why studio time's so expensive. If you knew the work,
Right.
Anyway, that's a whole nother topic
building
for
a
another
studio,
day.
you just built one.
I don't want
Yeah,
to. I don't
and-
ever
and-
want to have to do that again.
But yeah, they just did their CD release show in December out to the Voodoo, packed it out. The day before that, they did a big appearance on KSHB 41's morning show, and the CD is just incredible. Like we just played a video, and if that's just only a small taste, the whole album just kills. And so, if you haven't had an opportunity to catch that, you should. Also, we don't have time to in one show to give enough shout outs, but we'll do that over
time.
the
This isn't our
Yeah.
only show. We're back again next Thursday at 7 p.m. to do this
Exactly.
again. After we get done with this one, we're not even an hour into this one yet. So
Also, former Pat, remember Pat Jonas did a show here.
1,000 Years Wide.
Yeah, 1,000 Years Wide.
He
Used to be
owned the
part of
bar
this-
up in St. Joe, and that's when I met him
Tremors?
many years ago.
Remember when you
And-
do live remotes there? Was fun.
Yes, man, that was fun. That was a great bar.
It was a great bar and good times. And not only were the bands that went up there
It was
welcome.
Smile Empty Soul is who you had up there whenever I went up
Yeah.
and met Pat, and cool guy, awesome guy.
What do you remember?
Love Pat.
We'll get back because I want to talk about
My
1,000
number
Years
one
Wide.
thing I remember is the frickin' pole right in the middle of the stage.
Well, what about the smoke?
Yeah.
Remember the smoke?
Oh,
And the lead singer,
jeez.
Smile Empty Soul's lead singer, had to stop the show.
Because smoking is allowed in St. Joe.
Right.
Where people in larger cities like Kansas City, you go to someplace you cannot smoke inside. You have to go outside. St. Joe's not that way, or at least it wasn't at the time. I don't know if it's changed.
I think it may have changed, but that night, I'm not for sure if all the smoke in that room was necessarily cigarette smoke.
I don't think it was, because I left there with a freaking cloudy head.
And
I'll
I
say it
remember the
that
lead
way.
singer was like, told the crowd, he had to stop and be like, guys, you're hotboxing it up in here. But no, it was a great club. But Pat, he's been involved in music forever. Injected Element, and he's had a lot of things. But his newest project is really what's taken off, and they just released a new album. And their CD release show was just this last weekend. And
Where at?
Up at the venue in St. Joe.
Cafe Acoustic?
Cafe Acoustic, and
Okay.
they packed it. They sold it out, and it's a great little venue. And
I have never been to Cafe Acoustic, and I've heard a lot of good things about it.
yeah, it's just your stripped down venue, room, PA, stage, soundboard, and a lot of room to fill up. But they packed it out. Their new album, it's called Bedlam, and they recorded that with Brett Lieber of Young Medicine. He's got a nice little studio here in
Young
KC.
Medicine's another badass band, I remember.
Yeah, hit them up. You need a recording. Red Roof Productions. They did an awesome job with the new 1,000 Years Wide CD. And I think going into the next break, we're going to play some 1,000 Years Wide, their new video. But, two bands from the area that you need to check out. Wanted to run some of these new, some up-and-coming releases and just get your thoughts on some of the new
Okay.
music that will be coming out in 2020. Some of it's already been released, but want to give you an idea, give you an opportunity to comment. So Ozzy is going to have a new album out. Any thoughts on Ozzy?
They just announced that he has Parkinson's.
That's what I heard.
Yes, he made the announcement last week.
That is that's horrible. I mean, for a lot of people, Ozzy, the younger generation thinks that Post Malone launched him, which is just absolutely asinine.
Right.
But
What a nice guy.
but to us, it's Ozzy was kind of our. I don't even know who to compare it to today. I don't think you can.
No.
And he was so over the top. He was that metal. Bark at the Moon album is what put me into rock.
Yeah, well, and you can't forget, his roots with Black Sabbath.
Right, but I'm just saying where I started was
Right.
Bark at the Moon, and it just the guy's legend.
Right.
And last year at Rocklahoma, it was supposed to be Ozzy.
Yep.
Was supposed to be the headliner before they brought in Korn, I believe it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Korn did awesome, but they got totally upstaged by In This Moment, and we'll talk about that some other time. But I really wanted to see Ozzy, and I was really hoping with the lineup release this year, which we'll talk about here in a bit, that maybe that would come back around. But after I saw the Parkinson's announcement and there's
You think the show scheduled for this summer is going to cancel as well?
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it did. Parkinson's is not a disease that
I did see something today. They
Randy
listed,
Rhodes, yes.
They God, thanks you. I'm sorry. Frank got me so flustered over here. The U.S. tour, the U.S. tour in May is still good. The European tour is to be determined as of right now. So, fingers crossed, we may have an Aussie tour.
Come on, does he really need to sing? Just put him up on stage, let him bite the head off something.
You want him to go all Vince Neil? I mean, that's really what, which Tom's going to kill me for that comment. Sorry, Tom. Anyway.
No, okay, so here's some other new releases coming up in 2020. I'm just going to name some. Anything strikes your fancy you want to talk about, just chime in. All right?
Okay.
Rob Zombie.
I think Rob Zombie here locally, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
He kind of did Kansas City bad.
You know what? He's just overplayed Kansas City.
Yeah, like every 3 months for a year.
So, yeah, Rob Zombie doesn't excite me. Okay. What about Five Finger Death Punch?
That's a band that gets a lot of crap. And, I met him back in Mayhem at the Mayhem Festival in 2008.
Right.
Was the first time that I sat down with Ivan and Zoltan and the core of Five Finger Death Punch. And that was before Ivan had some serious issues and demons he had to deal with.
His shoe fetish.
We'll go there. Okay.
Right.
But I never really got that. And yes, I know he came off as whatever to a lot of people. I still personally think Five Finger Death Punch has almost did a Jason. I personally think Five Finger Death Punch has a pretty solid future pending on this album.
I think so. I just need him to quit covering songs,
Yeah, I mean, Bad Company was awesome, but I actually like the remake, but it just I'm tired of the remakes. I want what your voice is.
Right.
I want to hear from the voice of the band, what they want to say.
And us old school guys remember when he was the lead singer of Motor Grader, the original lead singer of Motor Grader. All right, I'm going to keep going. Let's not get stuck on these guys. Just chime in. Theory of a Dead Man. Here's one from your time. Rat.
Theory of a Dead Man. I'm actually looking forward to that one. I want to go back. I know you mentioned Rat, but Theory of a Dead Man. I'm curious to see where they go with this album.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I dug those guys, and they've been they were one of those bands that didn't like
Bad Girlfriend.
oversaturate us.
Still, yeah, I still can just crank that song and put the pedal down.
You know what I think the problem was with a lot of these bands that are really good bands, that the industry made them put out album after album. Like, no longer did one album retire and they were kicking out another one.
Yeah, I mean, they were pushing for quantity over quality, and I want to see the quality back to. I think that's what a little. There's this whole save rock still. That was going on back in 2010 when we kind of got into it. It's still going on. Rock's dying. Rock's this. Rock's that. I don't think it is. I think it's just they got away from the quality for the quantity of music.
I'm with you, and I think there's something. That's a whole nother subject. I do believe that we are on the verge of seeing rock and roll come center stage again.
And a lot of that comes back to The Dirt on Netflix. It showed that rock is still relevant.
That is the truth. All right, Rat.
Honestly, I don't care.
I don't care. Yeah, I'm with you. The Offspring.
That one. That's one of those bands that you love or you hate. There's really no in between, and I would be surprised if it makes top 10. That's just me.
Well, it'll be interesting nonetheless to see what they do. All right, Seven Dust.
That one, they have yet to put out an album I have not liked.
I would agree, and they've become quite popular here in Kansas
LJ
City
lives here in Kansas City,
Yeah.
but that one excites me. I saw them at Rocklahoma last year.
Yeah, they killed it.
And they were amazing. I felt bad for Tech 9. I was like, okay, well, Tech 9 has to go behind Seven Dust on the same stage as Seven Dust.
Right.
And even behind In This Moment that just wrecked this place.
Right.
With this theatrical performance that I have never seen from Maria.
Right.
And here, it was like, what's Tech 9 going to do? He still brought it. And he was still over the top.
And let me back it up before everyone jumps my can here about saying they've just become popular in Kansas City. They've always been popular, but since Lejean
it's more
moved
prevalent
here,
now. People are more comfortable talking about liking Seven Dust.
Right.
Which I never understood why you didn't want to admit to it before, but now it's okay.
All right, Stone Temple Pilots. You care? New lead singer?
I was mixed whenever they came out with Chester Bennington, and they did that whole tour. He did STP well.
Yeah.
He really did. And that's controversial, I agree. But for me, he did STP well.
Right.
Now we've lost two of their lead singers. Yes, Chester was Linkin Park, not STP, but you're still going to remember him as a member of STP if you ever saw him tour like I did. So now you've got, as an STP fan, you now have two lead singers that you've lost, and it's I don't know if I have room for a third to accept it.
No, I'm with you. It's hard for me to get beyond that. Moving on. This is interesting. Static X. See, now here's the deal.
Wayne was a legendary frontman.
That's
They just toured recently
and
with
didn't
a
do
package,
well.
and they had a guy who it's been. Everybody knows who it is now, but they had a mask. This guy had a mask, his hair exactly like Wayne Static. Anyway, the new lead singer in mask is the lead singer of Dope, Edsel, and he's now the new lead singer. The controversy with this isn't that Static X is back. It's the fact that
they've got to make money.
It's that
they have
they
to make a
dress him
living.
up as a caricature of Wayne Static.
I have a huge issue with that.
Right. And a lot of people
because
do.
they're trying to replace Wayne, in mass,
Right.
regardless of how. I mean, yes, you're going to replace him in position, but now you're trying to replace him in mass. I have a serious issue with that.
You know what? I'm on your side. I think a band deserves the right to move on. Replacing a lead singer is hard, but just new identity. All right, moving on. Body Count.
Honestly, take it or leave it.
Ice-T?
I know, but Ice-T is also like 95 years old. That's like me trying to release an album.
I love it.
It just that's not going to work out. It's just not.
Now, do you remember when they came out with the song "Cop Killer" and it was a big controversy?
But you're also talking a totally different demographic and time continuum now. The generation of today is nothing like the generation we had.
True.
And that's not saying we're better or worse or anything like that. That's just saying that the way that feelings are hurt today are so much. What we took as incitement or as speech or whatever today is attack.
Right.
Or so I don't know how that's going to play out, and that's why I'm like I just don't think that the world's in the right place for the voice that he has.
I don't know. I kind of think it's perfect environment. We need people that are willing to poke at the man and shake things up.
Yeah. Kyle brought that up. Ironically, Ice-T played a cop on TV.
Exactly.
Yeah. Whenever. So I mean, it's
all right. Deftones.
A lot of people, and I have to be real careful here, and I'm very aware of that. Deftones have a cult following.
Oh.
Their fans are absolutely over the top. I saw Deftones at Rocklahoma 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. I'm. It's not me. I can respect it, but it's not something I'm going to put in.
I saw them twice at the Riot Room. Once inside, once on the back patio. Before.
How the hell did they play Riot Room?
This is long before they were huge.
Okay.
So, but I'm with you. I'm interested.
I'm just
to
not
hear
a fan,
it,
so I can't say.
Here's a good one: Foo Fighters.
Anything Dave Grohl touches turns to gold.
Yeah.
That's just the end of story there. Yeah, that guy is. I mean, I'm a fan of Dave Grohl, and I'm really interested.
All right, I'm going to give you the last three bands on my list. Not that there's not others.
I see where you're going. Do one more individually.
Just one more.
Uh-huh.
Rage Against the Machine.
I'm going to put them. I like Rage's music. It's a little over the top anymore. If you listen to some of their pre-release stuff, I'm going to put them in the same boat with the Green Day release.
That was going to be another one I threw out at you.
And that's the fact that it's gotten too damn political. At least for me. I understand. People have a voice. They want to express their opinion. I'm all about that. But whenever that's all your music has become, I just can't bite into it. It's not that I'm a Republican or a Democrat or an independent. Or it has nothing to do with my views. I just don't get the whole anti-government as a whole with there's no resolve type. And
I knew we said we weren't going to talk politics, but do you think the state of politics currently you just don't have room, you just don't want it in your music right now?
Now, no. You get that every day in society right now.
Right.
It's in your face. It's up front and personal. You know that there's a very divided opinion in the United States over politics.
Right.
I don't need it in my escape of reality of music.
All right. Well, let's go into a different realm. 9 Inch Nails. Any thoughts? Care?
I'll give it a listen. Since the 90s, though, there's really nothing that really hit me after Animal.
Right, and that was, I remember you loved that song.
Well, yeah.
Well, that was your black leather clad days.
Man, you don't want me to come wearing in here what I wear on Saturday night, do you?
Well, I remember. You being
Between
all
that
like,
and Project Porn, I don't want to think about it.
Oh.
But,
that's funny.
And I do love all of the opinions coming up in the chat room right now from, looks like almost all of them from YouTube right now, which I love. Please subscribe to the channel out there on YouTube at Project Gaming KC. Huge divide on all of these releases that you're talking about, which I have to agree. I mean, some of them don't follow with what I said, but I have to agree with what they're saying. I mean, it all comes down to the music. I just want to see what the release is and see how that plays out.
I'm with you. So, well, a lot of great music, in 2020. I think it lends itself to what.
But how many of these are rehashes too? I have a feeling some of these albums are just going to be rehash, regurgitated old stuff too.
Yeah, we'll see. But it is nice to see some rock, some what I would consider rock coming back. But then, another day we'll talk about, the new faces of rock music like Dirty Honey and Greta Van Fleet and bands like that are just starting to make their presence known in popular music. And a lot of those bands are just straight up rock and roll bands.
See,
with some
I'm
of them.
not a Greta fan either.
You're not?
No, I'm really not. I love the bluegrass stuff, but they just feel like I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
They get compared to Led Zeppelin a lot, but
I don't see that. Personally, I don't see the comparison.
Wait, we have to be talking about two different bands.
No,
then.
we're talking about the same bands. I just don't see the comparison. That's just me. I mean,
I'm convinced you haven't heard Greta Van Fleet then.
I've heard Greta Van Fleet.
And you don't hear
Who hasn't? It's played everywhere.
And you do not hear any sort of Zeppelin influence.
I really don't.
All right.
Are we ready for break? I have a feeling Corey's about ready to come over the table.
I just want to throw out there. I haven't. So.
And Jenny Jenkins agrees with me in the chat room. She don't see it either.
Jenny has never heard Greta Van Fleet.
And Jenny, I think I met Jenny at Rocklahoma this year. Didn't we?
You did.
Okay, that makes sense. So,
yeah, that's a subject we're going to talk about when we come back. I think
we'll talk about Rocklahoma. Joey and his crews from Boulder Dash Boys are in studio. We'll talk about that show. Christina Cook is in studio.
Hello.
And we'll be talking to her a little bit. Forever Gray will also be here. We have a lot in the next 50 minutes. Please don't go anywhere. It's Project Slam. I'm Frank.
This is Corey.
And J-Babs.
We'll be right back.
You are cold, critical, analytical, that's why I like you. I am bold, cynical, and so difficult, that's why I fight you. I'm letting you in, crawl under my sheets, well baby you win. For a minute, the more I'm a bitch, the more you can't quit, the more you like it. Yeah, get it top shelf
Sitting here between the church and the state, everybody's got opinions or something to say. No one wants to admit it might be wrong. Well, there's two sides to every coin. Everyone wins only half the time. Watch what you say, 'cause words find a way to live on. They say that the meek shall inherit the earth. The first will be last, the last will be first. Tell me, which one do you really want to be? 'Cause I'll share my path with the winners and losers. Every saint has a past, every sinner a future, full of good and bad intention. In the end, we all need a little redemption. In the end, we all need a little redemption. In the end, we all need a little redemption. Thinking about my buddy at the GM plant, paying for his kids that don't give a damn. He does without, so the bank account don't break. So he went to church with shallow pockets, took his last coins out and tossed them while some folk around looked down on what he gave. They say that the meek shall inherit the earth. First will be last, and last will be first. Tell me, which one do you really want to be? 'Cause I share my path with the winners and losers. Every saint has a past, every sinner a future, full of good and bad intention. In the end, we all need a little redemption. In the end, we all need a little redemption. In the end, we all need a little redemption. Last, the last will be first. Tell me, which one do you really want to be? 'Cause I share my path with the winners and losers. Every saint has a past, every sinner a future, full of good and bad intentions. In the end, we all need a little redemption. In the end, we all need a little redemption. In the end, we all need a little redemption. In the end, we all need a little redemption. In the end, we all need a little redemption. In the end, we all need a little redemption. Can I get a witness now?
Back. We have some friendly and familiar faces in the studio. Forever Gray, you guys want to say hello and introduce yourselves?
What's up?
Hi, I'm Molly.
Matt. I'm Chris.
You guys, I know this isn't your first time. But you know what? It felt like it was our first time earlier before we went live at 7. Me and Frank were playing the Are You Nervous? I'm nervous.
Oh, we were hot messes, man. I was like, dude, I got too much gray in my beard.
You know what?
It's been a while.
It's-
We're a little rusty.
You know what? Well, we're a little bit rusty too, but the cool thing is that Forever Gray is back. Got a new show. Got a show coming up. You guys, what date is that?
That is 3 weeks from tomorrow.
February 15th.
February 15th.
That is, it's the third installment of Femme Fatale, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So let's talk about that. The whole idea of that concept. First of all, do you remember the first one?
Absolutely.
Do you remember the lineup?
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
He'd have to tell you the
Okay,
lineup.
so the lineup was before Chris was in the band, he was in another band called Hallucination, and I don't think he was actually in the band at that point, but he was when we booked him.
Right.
So Hallucination was on the bill, us, and then a band from St. Joe that, man, we love. They were called Infrastructure.
Yes.
Oh, right.
And-
I remember her.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
she just had that voice that was just like, it was like Lita Ford mixed with like Bonnie Tyler and Slayer all at once.
It's crazy.
And her husband passed away shortly after that, and it was
I
really tragic.
don't know where she is now. If
Yeah,
she
I tried looking
play
for her
or-
on Facebook. I was like, please come to the show. Like, we'll put you on stage.
It's great hearing that name
And
and
then-
be taken back. Wow.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we all love Infrastructure. I remember when she did a phony jam and she did Mr. Crowley. It just melted everybody. We're just like, wow.
That's something we're going to need to do soon is get a phony jam going. Those were always
Oh,
fun.
that would
Those
be
were- yeah,
epic.
those are awesome.
Right.
And then,
but-
lastly, the very first, the first Femme Fatale featured a new band that nobody had heard of called Odious, featuring one Laura Roach
Right. And her brothers, right?
and her brothers. Yes,
And I think even Alan, the cousin,
yeah,
Yep.
who's part of Slam here. So
yeah. So yeah,
Oh, that's
Odious
cool.
was on that first bill, and Laura was great, and it was a great show. We had a great turnout. It was at the Riot Room, or it may have been the Hurricane. Yeah, I think it was the
So,
Riot Room at that point.
The second one was here.
The second one was here.
No.
you remember the lineup for that
It
one?
was Mad Libby, Bad Girls Go to Hell,
Bad Girls Go to
Amadeus,
Mm-hmm.
Jessica Ferris that used to be in Fatal Candy Machine, her
Right.
band from St. Joe, and originally it was going to be, I can't remember if Mad Libby ended up doing it or they couldn't do it, and then Woo picked it up. But either way, Dana was on the bill.
Dana was on the bill. And Amadeus, that's it.
Yeah,
That's
and,
a name
she-
I haven't
and,
heard
and
for a long
she
time.
is just taken off. I mean, she's got a great solo career. That's just I can't remember her name. Jillian would know. Jillian put it in the comments.
Really?
Yeah, she
Yeah,
took
she
off.
says, "Hi, everyone."
Yeah, Jillian knows her really well. Emma was her name, I think. Emma.
Oh, no. I think you're confused. Emma, remember Emma and the Stones? What was that band?
49 Stones.
49
49 Stones. That's right.
There we go.
It wasn't Amadeus. It was 49 because Amadeus dropped off the bill. That's right. So yeah, it was kind of a hodgepodge of bands, but we had all these vendors, and they all did really well.
And that was, I think, one of the coolest things was using the space that
Right.
you guys have here at Aftershock to have like the different vendors. So it was the music in one room, vendors in another, people just hanging out, socializing, watching the bands.
Are
And that's
you
what
guys
we're
gonna
going
do
for
vendors?
now. yes.
Absolutely.
Cool.
There's going to be, we've got, I think, 10 vendors right now, ranging from everything from dog toys to adult toys.
Adult toys.
Okay, okay.
I mean, it's true.
Right.
Jewelry, artwork. We have several artists coming in.
Monkey Wrench Clothing.
Monkey Wrench Clothing's
Oh,
going to
wow.
be here. We have a jewelry vendor, and Chris's daughter is actually
my
going to be
daughter's
selling
one
her
of those.
art.
No kidding. That's awesome.
And
So,
then-
And it's kind of a big deal for me because she's 14 and she's never seen me play live, so it'll be a first time for her to see me play too.
now, how does that happen? 14 and she's not seen you play live.
She's just never really shown an interest in it before, and also a lot of the gigs I've
You've
played
been
in
out
the past.
for
and
a hot minute, so
Right.
I've been out of the local scene for a long time because I was on tour with another band, for 4 years, and so it was not really easy to get her out on the road with me, given the circumstances of that particular band. playing a lot of 21 and up
Right.
venues and stuff like
And
that.
this is also kind of a rare all ages show.
yeah.
And this is kind of time. I got a 13-year-old son, and up until last year, he didn't give a crap about what I did or music. And now all of a sudden, he's all about music, plays guitar. So I think it's the age. They finally discover music. So
Okay, so speaking about kids, I have 2 kids, and that's going to roll into the thing we're announcing on February 1st. We're going to be doing a side stage off in the corner of the vendors area. That's just going to be a singer-songwriter stage. We still have 2 slots open, people. We need those 2 slots filled.
So basically,
Yeah, just hit me up.
Singer-songwriter stage where we'll
guitar,
have just
one
an
mic.
amp, one mic set up.
is your son going to play drums?
No, my son is not. We'll get to that in just a sec. My daughter will be opening up the singer-songwriter set. She's an accomplished songwriter herself. She plays ukulele and guitar.
That's awesome.
And her songs and her slam poetry are so ahead of her age. She wrote a slam poetry piece that we're hoping she does, that every woman needs to hear, every girl needs to hear.
That's good.
It's just flat out amazing.
You and Wally are never going to be able to get away from music, even if you wanted to.
I don't think we are. No.
You'll just transcend into band management and those kind of things.
Oh, you should see us. We're kitchen dancers too, because that's kind of our safe space at home. Like Molly got really into cooking,
Right.
and became this amazing cook, and so we sit in the kitchen and we listen
Wow.
to music and
That's
Sing
good.
and
and dance and have a
But
great time.
The singer-songwriter stage is going to be basically in between set change.
Right.
So each singer is going to get a 2-song run.
The idea is just to have fun, and
Yeah.
we'll have the
Music never
vendors
stops.
Showing off.
exactly while we're changing out sets. We'll have the singer songwriters
Right.
out in the vendor area where people can shop and socialize and listen to that, and then come back in for the sets.
The side stage is going to be actually dedicated to a woman from Molly's hometown, where Forever Grey originated in Excelsior Springs. Her name was Colleen Curran Haynes. She was a singer-songwriter that was amazing in that town. She passed away from cancer several years back. Her son is Eric Crawford, that
Right.
was in Forlorn Hope, and he was also in my old band Hollow Space for a long time. And he'll be in attendance. But we wanted to dedicate that stage to her because she was such an amazing inspiration to every musician from our town.
So this isn't just, it's just not another show.
No, absolutely
No.
not. It's an event. It's like a mini festival, if you want to call it that.
And I love it. And that's what people love these days.
We were actually contacted via our new Instagram, by the way. We have a brand new Instagram, at Forever Grey KC. Shameless plug. But we were actually contacted on there by OTEP because we shared a Throwback Thursday post when we opened up for them here at Aftershock. We were direct tour support for them, and said that was one of the biggest, best shows we had ever played. And she sent a personal message and was like, so this Femme Fatale thing, is it like a festival? I'm like, well, not yet. I mean,
But if we get there next year and
Give us
we
some-
get,
she
give us some
acknowledged
more
it.
years.
we get some investors, we'll see what happens.
I think it's a great idea,
I'm kind of half. I told Molly, I was like, I'll be half surprised if she just rolls up from Chicago and be like, "Hey, what's up?" We're
Right.
like, "Yeah,
Here's
you
my
got your
little
dog."
dog. Here's my little dog.
What's your dog?
the whole thing behind the show is just to promote the amazing women that are in the music scene, period. I mean, there's a big thing going around now that bands don't want to be called female-fronted bands anymore. They just want to be called a band.
Right.
And so we're trying to promote that too.
Right.
I got to tell you, as somebody, it's been a while since we've been out of the scene, but somebody who was in the scene for a long time, several years ago, rock is definitely a man's world, and that's something that I learned the hard way very early years ago,
Right.
which is what prompted us to start the Femme Fatale, to find other artists and other women who wanted to be part of the scene and come in and contribute, show what they do, run the
Right.
show, run the vendors, and make it just an awesome
No, I think
space
it's a
for
great
everybody.
idea.
So-
Martina McBride in country music recently started a campaign because she just put into the search engine on Spotify country music and did it several times just to make sure it wasn't just her search,
Right.
but 9 out of 10 artists that popped up
Yeah.
were male artists.
Right,
And
right.
So she's been very active at bringing attention on to the lack of attention of female artists. So one of the things we got to make sure we discuss is what is the lineup for
That's what I was getting at.
Absolutely.
3 February 15th.
Yeah. So the show is going to be starting early. So doors are at 5. And Jillian Risco will be going on at 6 o'clock. And what can you say about Jillian? She's just, I mean, amazing.
Honestly, you want to talk about somebody who's really at the forefront of promoting women
yeah.
in music. She was actually just promoted to a board member for Women on the Rise, who will actually be here
Yeah, I saw that.
for that event,
Congratulations,
which is all
Jillian.
about female music. So Jillian is definitely an advocate for all of us. And then
Zoe
Zoe
Roars,
Roars.
who started with the School of Rock,
Yep.
which obviously know our ties to that.
Yep.
She's coming in, and she's an instructor at the School of Rock now, which is so awesome.
Zoe's got a great voice. I love her
I love her
approach.
voice, and her style is so
Yes.
awesome. Like I showed my daughter, I was like, "You have to listen to her," and my daughter was like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
You know?
You know, if you ever get an opportunity, she put a solo album out not that long ago, and a lot of people haven't heard it. And it's really like completely different from what she did with Metal Roach,
Right.
like on her solo stuff.
Oh, we've listened to it. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
on Amazon. It's on
Yeah.
Spotify. We have it on our Alexa in the kitchen. We've listened to it.
Great, does a great job of covering an old Pixie song, which
Going back
is
to
right on.
Jillian, though, real quick, we kind of hear tell that not only is she going to be opening the show, she's actually going to MC.
Oh yeah,
the night
Jillian
for
will
us.
be emceeing our
Oh,
event
good,
for us.
good.
so-
She does a great job. She hosts the open mic night down here on the patio every Thursday in the summer, and she's a natural.
And then next is going to be
Araya.
yes,
Araya.
super excited about
We're
that.
real excited about that.
Yeah, they
According
come.
to Mike Dobbs, they're coming in with a whole brand new show, kind of like what we're doing. It's a whole new thing that he said their music, their show, everything's going to be a whole new look that's nobody's ever seen Araya do before. So I'm
No
pretty excited
kidding.
to see that.
They've come back with vengeance and literally on fire. You know, I mean, for real. All right, who else we have on the bill?
And then Shadow Sin. I mean, what can you say? We were just at their CD release, and we're just like,
The new EP is awesome.
oh
it
yeah,
is.
Fantastic.
It's
It
great.
is absolutely, like, I remember watching the video and thinking, I was like, man, this is like the same quality of the videos you see from like Redline Chemistry
Yep.
and Sidewise, and
The production on that whole album is great.
they
Matt did an awesome job, and then of course headlining the event are
Us.
you guys, Forever Gray.
we're coming back with us 3 original members and 3 new members. One, our keyboard player, who is another
She's-
woman, and she's amazing, and she did all the designs for our new T-shirts.
She's also brand new to
Brand-
performing live
brand-
music.
she's
She is
Never
just,
been in a band.
We
Jumped
drug her
in
into
head
Rockstar
first.
Life.
Really? That's
And then
awesome.
We
and
have
she's fantastic.
Chris's cousin Willie, that used to be in Come Ascendancy on
Nephew.
bass, or nephew, not.
You always say my cousin.
You guys are so close in age.
It's my nephew.
Yeah. So his nephew
No
Willie.
fighting.
No fighting. And then everybody knows Ben Ward from Restraint is
Yes.
on our guitars for us too.
I can't say how much Ben has added to our lineup as far as
He's a great vocalist as well.
When we couldn't get David to come back, he stepped in, and he had some big shoes to step in,
Right.
and
Yes.
he was like, "These shoes are too small." And
I've got to say,
You gotta get him some boots.
I gotta say about Ben, he, we sent him the materials, said, we're gonna get together in the next couple of weeks to have our first, rehearsal, and he walked into rehearsal, brought his gear in, sat down put on the guitar, sat down the amp and everything, looked at Matt and said, "Okay, are you playing lead or am I playing lead?"
he knew all
He
my
knew all of
parts and David's parts.
See, that's the kind of guy you want to step in and wear those big boots. So that's Femme Fatale 3, February 15th, Aftershock. Doors will be at 5. Show starts at 6.
And
It's
it's
going to
$5.
$5.
unheard of.
If you don't have $5, call me.
It
and I'll-
is
$5.
$5, all ages.
All right, guys, you heard it. Now, really, let's get some shameless plugs. Where can people find you on social media?
We are at Facebook at Forever Gray with the extra E.
Instagram.
Remember that.
Extra E.
Instagram, Forever Gray KC. Don't forget the extra E after Forever Gray.
Yeah.
We're also on Spotify.
We're on Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, and For all you people that love all of our music, that actually want to own it and own the back catalog that is not on streaming media, we are on Bandcamp at Forever Gray, and you can own our entire catalog for $6.
Boy, that's $1 more than to see you live. That's a bargain.
So, when we got new shirts for the show, we're looking forward to seeing everybody. We can't wait to rock your faces. Thanks for having us, guys.
And really quick,
bringing a whole new
we're
show
going to
too.
video now.
Yep.
This is give us just a quick intro to this video.
This was...
So this was actually, the video was shot by a high school friend of mine. He got into producing, and he actually lives in Colorado now.
Matt Dreyer from Third World Sin.
Yeah, Matt Dreyer of Third World Sin. We actually shot the majority of the outside stuff is all in David Rice's backyard.
And then the inside stuff is in David Rice's house.
That is true.
And a bar.
The bar was formerly Hog Wild down in Shawnee.
Oh, remember that place.
So we knew the owner at the
A lot of our
time.
friends.
All of our friends are in the video.
Matt has a cameo in that video.
We got a
where he
cease
put
and
on his
desist.
glasses.
We got a cease and desist from Nebraska Furniture Mart.
Don't
You
say
can
the
read
name. Don't say the
that. Yeah,
name.
we get. Sorry, that's
All right. Name of the song is
Blood
This
for
is
Love,
Blood for
and it's our 2010 Our Stage video winner.
Femme Fatale, February 15th. We'll see you there.
I'm just getting back from the free fall. Look at where I am now, and who I've become without you. Since you went back to that dark place you came from. I wanted it all so bad that I was willing to take whatever I could get. And never again. I was in love with the monster. Carelessly, I listened when you said the words you said, did the things you did, and for a moment, I believed. Till it dawned on me, and I turned all our wrongs together into rights for me.
Welcome back to Project Slam. We're broadcasting out of Merriam, Kansas, Aftershock Music Venue in the secret room. It's it kind of smells in here now because we've got a new show that's going to be coming to Project Slam in here. During the break, we were teasing Joey. People that have been around the music scene here in Kansas City, maybe not so much, our current crowd, but the people that have known will remember Joey, who's over there. He's down there in the center. He's the last time people saw him, he was like 12. Yeah, whenever Otherwise took him up on stage.
He's still
yeah,
12.
for his first concert that he
Yeah,
was
Grandpa.
here. That
Right. Remember, he's still 12.
I sound like it.
J-Babs explained this last night in detail.
He hasn't hit puberty yet.
so on. So part of all this whole build was he wanted to do something with streaming and created a show with some of his friends. I think it's all of his friends, but that's just me. The red is coming out on the camera.
At least the ones that want to
What
claim
I'm
it.
doing to
Naturally
him.
red. You know, 2 of them like to bail a lot, so we have 3.
Okay.
Hey, Frank, it looks more like a police lineup down there.
Name your suspect.
I don't know where to go with this. So you're going to be doing a show called Balderdash Boys. Go ahead and someone start talking.
We're gonna focus more around tabletop, and we're gonna be talking about what's currently going on, just mostly around the world. We're also gonna cover more digital gaming, like modernized gaming, like what you see with the Xbox and PCs and
So the video
PS4.
side as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Now on tabletop, what type of tabletop are you talking? Card games, board games?
We're talking all of the above: Magic, D&D, Monopoly, maybe if we can get Ezra to agree.
No,
Monopoly?
I absolutely despise
Now
it.
you're in my day.
Like, I would just anything else, please.
Mario Monopoly is amazing, by the way.
You know,
You have to
Yeah.
do Mario Monopoly.
Monopoly might be a fight starter, but nothing starts fights like Candyland.
Oh,
I haven't played
Shoots
that.
and ladders.
I have not played
Shoots
that.
and ladders. What about
haven't played
Uno?
Candyland?
Uno's a
No.
good
No.
one.
dude, we're
Uno
doing
a
it.
lot.
Yes,
We
we're
played
doing it.
Not those cards though. No,
Yes,
no.
we are
Draw
playing
40.
endless Uno with
No,
that deck.
I hate
Flop
those
decks.
3 cards specifically.
We
All
are
right,
playing endless
what's the name
Uno.
of the show again?
Balderdash Lads.
Explain the name. I know it has meaning, but for a guy like me,
Balderdash means random or madness. And lads is boy, so it basically translates to mad lads.
I have a feeling you guys are going to be the party animals of the
Of
new
Project Slam.
and Project Slam. I don't know if we can trust these guys with the studio.
Do we give them keys now and beg for forgiveness later?
I'm fine with that.
They reek of wild and crazy, and I'm not for sure. No, you guys. Frank's trying to get me into gaming, and now you start talking about board games, and I'm even more lost now. So
we talked about it in the first hour, but I'll kind of recap it for those that missed it. Yesterday, I put on Corey's head for the first time in his life the VR headset. It put him in Beat Saber. That, you know how the red wall comes at you?
Yeah.
That came at him, and he almost put his head through that purple door over there. He darted across the room, threw the headset off, was like, the hell with this, I'm done, this sucks.
well,
Probably thinks Beat Saber's
Okay.
a horror game.
What's funny about Beat Saber is you feel so cool while you're in it, but outside you just look stupid because you're just
There is no way to look cool while you're playing Beat
you
Saber.
just feel so
None.
cool doing it though.
you know, Joey, you're right, because when I was watching your dad play, I was like, he looks like a real dork. But when I was in, and I was thinking, man, I didn't know I could dance so well and make these moves.
Yeah.
But then the thought occurred to me that I probably look silly too. But then I thought, Frank's videotaping me. I know this. He's recording me.
I wanted
He's
to.
going out live.
I so wanted to. I will put the headset on you again and record it because the only bad part is you're going to see the wall. You'll know the wall's coming this time, but I don't think the effect will be any different. But back to Balderdash Lads. When do you guys think you'll be ready to go, and when do you want to go?
I mean, we're all basically ready now. I mean, we're ready to start as soon as you want us to.
Okay. Well, we'll talk more off the air and get them a start date, right, Corey?
Yep.
And now, I do have to take a second, and people, once again, people that know Aftershock and the secret room that we're in, this used to be the purple room, and you can see on the cameras it's no longer purple. And that's because these guys absolutely busted their butt down here for weeks to help me totally redo this room. And Joey almost falling off a table when trying to take down posters was one of the most epic moments that I wish I would have got on video. But I have to publicly thank you guys. You Ezra, Joey, you guys just really, you showed up every time I needed help, and I got to thank you for that. Without you, none of this would have been. We wouldn't have made this date at all. So seriously, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So, Balderdash Lads, they'll be coming soon to Project Slam. Just watch ProjectBackstage.com, and we'll put up there as soon as we have a date to go. We're going to take a break. Corey, do you want to throw us out?
No, we're going to come back. We're going to wrap this first show up. We got a couple more things we're going to talk about. We
got one more show that we have to talk about for sure.
We got one more show and a couple other things, and then we're going to wrap it up. So stick around. We're going to let's go out. Let's do one video and come right back.
All right.
Can we do that,
Project
Babs?
Slam.
Sitting here between the church and the state, everybody's got opinions or something to say. No one wants to admit it might be wrong. Well, there's two sides to every coin. Everyone wins only half the time. Watch what you say, 'cause words find a way to live on. They say that the meek shall inherit the earth. The first will be last, the last will be first. Tell me, which one do you really want to be? 'Cause I'll share my path with the winners and losers. Every saint has a past, every sinner a future, full of good and bad intentions. In the end, we all need a little redemption. In the end, we all need a little redemption. In the end, we all need a little redemption. Thinking about my buddy, the GM plan, paying for his kids that don't give a damn. He does without, so the bank account don't break. So he went to church with shallow pockets, took his last coins out and tossed them while some folk around looked down on what he gave. They say that the meek shall inherit the earth. First will be last, the last will be first. Tell me, which one do you really want to be? 'Cause I share my path with the winners and losers. Every saint has a past, every sinner a future, full of good and bad intentions. In the end, we all need a little redemption. In the end, we all need a little redemption. In the end, we all need a little redemption. Last, the last will be first. Tell me, which one do you really want to be? 'Cause I share my path with the winners and losers. Every saint has a past, every sinner a future, full of good and bad intentions. In the end, we all need a little redemption. In the end, we all need a little redemption. In the end, we all need a little redemption. In the end, we all need a little redemption. In the end, we all need a little redemption. In the end, we all need a little redemption. Can I get a witness now?
We're on.
Project Slam, live out of Merriam, Kansas. I'm Frank.
This is Corey.
And Jason is off to control the crowd a little
I
bit.
told you these guys were going to be wild and crazy. All right, so we're back, Frank. Wow.
This show has flown by. We're We're right up on the 2 hours. We are going to go over just a little bit because we have another show that's going to be coming to Slam. This is the one I was talking about in the first hour that is probably not what people expected to see out of Project Slam.
But it's going to be cool.
In studio, we have Christina Cook.
Hello.
And, she's going to be heading up Project Paranormal on Project Slam. Go ahead and talk a little bit about this.
Well, Project Paranormal is an idea that I brought to Frank and Corey. It's an interest I believe all of us had. But the show's going to be doing some interviews with paranormal groups in the local area, as well as venturing out to other areas. We're going to do some live broadcasting at different haunted locations, especially around Kansas City, but we'd like to venture out in some other areas as well. And we're going to be going and talking to mediums and people that say that they're clairvoyant and possibly even psychics to see what they say and their take on the paranormal field. I'm pretty excited and stoked about this.
Honestly, my biggest thing on this is for Jason's bachelor party a couple years ago, we went to the Missouri State Penitentiary
awesome place.
On a ghost hunt. And, Time Magazine calls it the bloodiest 40 acres in America. The prison was open before the state was even founded. And it is probably one of the scariest places I have ever been in. Have you ever been down to it yet?
I have not. I have been to the Sally House in Atchison, Kansas, and I would have to say that's a very fascinating place. When I went there with a paranormal group on the second floor in the bedrooms, the bed kept vibrating. It was weird. You would go and sit on this bed in the bedroom, and it would just start vibrating. And it's an old bed. There was no reason for it.
Where is this vibrating bed located?
In Sally House. We cannot tie that into your porn show, okay?
Wait. Don't say tied and porn in the same sentence.
Vibrating bed. And Corey.
And Corey, yes.
No, all joking aside, that is awesome. Now, I know that you've also done some stuff up at the Mental State Hospital in St. Joseph as well.
Yes, I have. I've been in that the psychiatric ward, Gloria Psychiatric Museum, a couple of times. I found some interesting EVPs out of there. Mm-hmm. We've had our own experiences out there. Christy went with me. Your wife went with me one time with her daughter. That was fascinating. I think they had a good time.
Yeah, they had a great time. It was a scary time, and it was pretty intense, they say. But still, if that, some people, that's what they love, that kind of stuff. Nothing better than some ghost to get the blood pumping, right?
Well, that's what I'd say. I mean, there's exciting times in the paranormal. I have some great people that's going to come. Christy's going to come out and do some investigation with us. My best friend, my partner in crime, Tina Allison's going to come out and do some investigating with us. I'm going to drag Frank and Jason out to do investigations.
I want to go. I'm ready to go. Corey, are you going to do this?
Probably not.
I think Corey would literally run, and I mean run out of the building.
Now that would be something to see.
Rory in the chat room is saying the Oddfellows home in Liberty. Yes, I had to put my glasses on to read that. But have you ever been up there or heard anything about it?
No, I have stayed at the Elms Hotel in Excelsior Springs.
Oh, I've heard about that.
Oh my goodness, that place was fascinating because I was one of those people, I went in there and I was like not getting any of those vibes and feelings when I first went in. And so before I went to bed, I'm like, just bring it on. I don't care because I'm not feeling nothing. This place ain't nothing. It's not a joke. In the middle of the night, I woke up with somebody strangling me. It was hands around the throat. I couldn't talk. I was beating my husband, trying to wake him up. I could not get up and talk or say a word. It was the weirdest experience.
Someone was strangling you when you slept?
Yep.
Now, before I went to Missouri State Penitentiary, I was a heavy skeptic. I didn't believe in this stuff. I figured it was all mental. It was all whatever.
Right.
And the only reason why I keep bringing this back, because this is the only time I've ever gone out and done anything like this, it was at Missouri State Pen with Jason. And after that visit, there's things you can't explain. Whenever you think you see something, it's like, oh, it's just my mind playing tricks on me. And the person standing next to you tells you, oh, I see this, and that's exactly what you were seeing. How do you explain it? Or what Jason had where we were in the dungeon, the solitary dungeons,
Right.
and yeah, he kept yelling at me, "Quit touching me!" I was like, "I'm way the hell over here. How am I touching you?" And
He was about 4.5, 5 feet away from me.
Now, were you sleeping in a bed like Christina when you thought Frank was touching you?
No, I was. We were in the dungeon area of solitary in pitch black, and yeah, something was rubbing on me. It was very uncomfortable.
Dungeons,
but not in that way. Unfortunately,
J-Babs rubbing. Sounds fun. Count me in, guys. Next time, I'm with you.
Sierra is asking who's in the back. That would be. Apparently, she wasn't tuned in just a little bit ago. That'd be the Boulder Dash Boys.
That's the Boulder Dash Boys.
Also, Christina's son. I haven't done this in years.
Words are hard.
You're working out the kinks.
Joseph, who is also going to be producing some videos for Slam with tabletop and stuff, so that they're all getting to know each other right now because I really think it's going to be a good team between the two of them and deciding which directions who's going to go where.
I definitely think so. So, tonight was a show about introducing you to what we've got going on, explaining the difference between the shows. So you've heard about the mothership is Project Backstage, and then we talked about Project Slam, which is this show, which will be. Are we going to be every Thursday? Have we decided?
Every
yet?
Thursday, 7 to 9. We're starting with 2 hours. Obviously, we're used to 3 still.
Yes.
But, yeah, because
we
we're a little
talked
over.
about what Project Gaming is, and we've introduced you to some shows that will be popping up on Project Slam. One, Project Paranormal. The other one,
Boulder Dash Boys.
Boulder Dash Boys. And,
And does Joseph have a name yet? Have we done anything with him?
We have not. I have been discussing with Joseph a lot about gaming, and a lot of people don't know my son is a huge gamer. He goes to tabletop all the time. I mean, that kid, he says, I'm taking off Saturday morning. I don't see him until midnight Saturday night. He spent that whole day at tabletop playing one board game. Can you imagine one board game that many hours?
Yeah, I used to do that with Magic the Gathering.
Now,
I love that card game. So
I know nothing about gaming, but I do know Rory is a gamer.
Yes.
And have you seen some of the game boards that they've designed where they take Rory, you can jump in the chat room and correct me if I'm wrong, but they take TV sets and turn those into gaming tops. Gaming, is that right? Playing you play D&D every Saturday, but they use, is that something that you've seen before?
Honestly, no. I know a friend of mine from high school, his name's Dan Raines. He actually developed a board game, and has it marketed now. And I wish I knew the name. I'd give him a plug. I'll find out, and we'll get back to
Roy
that.
says it's full digital map set up. So anyway,
really,
yeah,
I would be interested in seeing this, Rory. You've got to introduce us here.
Yeah, it's pretty rad.
This sounds like I said. I'm a gamer. I don't care. Video, tabletop, card. I don't care. I love the experience of a game. It's a good escape from reality. We have a lot of stresses in life, and gaming is my chosen way to get out of that stress.
When I met you did World of Warcraft all the time, too. Do you still do that?
Yeah, that game is
won't talk about
killer. That World of Warcraft is still going. What is it, 14 years now?
It's 15, over 15.
So, and I've played probably 10 of that at $15 a month.
Right.
I do the math. Plus the expansions, I don't want
to.
So you're not doing it every 6 months. If you do the 6 month subscription, you get a new mount. So now that you get a boat mount, you get a mount that's a rat. You get.
I never got that email.
It's out now. So if you get a 6 month subscription to WoW, every 6 months you get a new mount.
But see, here's the problem. I quit playing retail when Classic came out because Classic is so amazing.
Classic is where it's at. See, Corey, you drug us into World of Warcraft.
Thanks, Corey.
I think that was me. Sorry.
Now, as we wrap this up, those that have tuned in again, tonight was just a show about talking about everything that's going to be happening out of this studio.
It hasn't. Tonight was not about structure.
Right.
Obviously,
we're
just 6 minutes over.
Just to bring you up to speed on everything. So those that, the gaming bores you, I don't think that's going to be part of the normal Slam show.
No, it's not. But I mean, we might touch on it just because it is part of our network, but it's not going to be a big part of it. That's why we're going to have other shows dealing with gaming.
Right. But now you've all been brought up to speed at what's been going on here and what we have planned. And really quick, thanks.
This
to
Project Paranormal.
Paranormal.
Project Paranormal.
That is the fourth time today that he has had problems with words.
Maybe 16 hours of sleep this week.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I wanted to make sure that I gave you guys the proper shout out before we wrap up, because between you and J Babs and
Joey
the
and
boys
Ezra
here behind me, they've put in a lot
Is
of
that
work.
your name? Tell me I'm saying that right.
You are. You just.
I can't remember his name. That's
Scott.
why I didn't want to be Scott. Yeah, between those guys, I got to give them props too. If you're giving me props and Jason props, 'cause
Yes,
they
so
were here too.
you guys have done a great job. Not only did you put a lot of man hours, a lot of money has gone into this, and we're still not done.
No, this is just the launch. We're gonna wait and see it in a year.
Yeah, so a lot of great things are happening, and so Frank, good launch. J Babs, good launch. Hopefully,
Real quick,
it was worth all the time you guys put into this.
Do something that we were gonna do. We're already 8 minutes over. The hell with it. We'll do another 2 minutes. Real quick, we're gonna slam the news, so to speak. Rocklahoma lineup's out. What do you think? Quickly.
We're going to go down there. We always cover Slam Radio. Always covers Rocklahoma.
We'll be there.
There's
Jason, you going?
There's some bright
I'm gonna
spots
try.
in the lineup, but nothing that really truly gets me bananas about the lineup. So but I'll be there. I'll have fun. One of the things is that I'm just not a big fan anymore of the big strung out festival. Maybe that's my age. I'd rather go see three real good bands.
This year we bought a trailer.
Right.
So we
That
have
might
some
make
place
a
to sleep.
Yeah,
It's not
my days of passing
truck
out
beds and tents.
and passing out in outhouses. That can't happen with me.
Don't
anymore.
forget the tornadoes.
And tornadoes. So
Reunion shows. There's a ton of them.
yeah.
What are your thoughts, real quick?
None of them really truly excite me. Motley Crue. Wah, I don't care.
There's a lot about that Motley Crue show that we can't talk about that we've gotten.
Right. Well, you know what? I shouldn't say that I don't care. It's just like everything, the hype. There's so much info out there about it, and some of it's negative, some of it's positive. You know what? We'll go to the show and then ask me what I think.
And here in a couple weeks, we will have Tom Zutaw on Project Slam at some point.
Yeah.
Not
Explain who he is.
Tom Zutaw is kind of the legendary A&R rep from the 90s.
Yeah, if you watch The Dirt, the movie The Dirt.
The Dirt, he had a character in the Netflix show The Dirt.
Yeah, this SNL guy played him.
He was actually the real Tom Zutaw telling the guy playing Tom Zutaw how to do his job.
Right.
It was kind of awesome. In The Dirt. But he's the one that signed Motley Crue.
Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses.
The list goes on.
Huge. Just Google him.
Legend.
And he's a good friend of ours. We're going to have him on to talk more about that crew here. I say a couple weeks. It might be a little bit longer. He's a busy man.
Totally.
Yeah, and plus he has some other obligations as well, obviously, with what he does. So,
anything else? You want to talk?
Best Burgers in KC.
Best Burgers in KC. Grandstand.
I'll go with Grandstand.
Right down the road.
Town
here.
Topic.
Town Topic.
Yeah.
Winstead's.
Five Guys.
McDonald's.
Flea Market.
McDonald's. No, Flea Market has $1.69 burgers until the Super Bowl because of the Kansas City Chiefs.
What about Rockstar?
Rockstar Burgers, it's kind of a doggy place.
Yeah.
It's just all dogged out. So.
Yeah. You know what? We could have ran with this. But let's just move on. Let's talk about the most important thing going on in all of our lives right now and wrap it up on a positive note, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs.
Super Bowl bound, baby.
Yeah.
Just to be able to say that and not be talking about a Madden game,
right?
Just is kind of awesome. Yeah, because that was the only other way the Chiefs ever were going to go to the Super Bowls if you ran them in Madden.
The Houston game, in the first quarter, I call Frank, and
I remember this call.
My voice is like this. Frank, what's going on?
I was like, yeah, this sucks.
Jesus, what? And then all of a sudden, I'm yelling profanities into Frank's ear, screaming
For
at
3
him.
minutes, I had to listen to my phone in overdrive of for 3 minutes, and I'm like,
Warn me next time.
God,
what the hell is this? I was like, Corey, are you okay? You having a heart attack?
Sorry.
What's going on? And yeah, it was that game was a heart stopper. But
yes, I called to whine and cry, and then I ended up. It was right when things turned around, and oh my God, I had to call you back and
he
apologize.
did. He was screaming and jumping around. I could hear him jumping in his house.
Boom!
It was quite the sound. But
I think everyone in the city has probably a story similar to that, and about
I live
time.
in way out east of Kansas City, and they were blowing that place up.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, the ground was shaking. They were setting off like dynamite or something. I don't know.
What a great time. Not only, with the Chiefs, but, anymore, downtown, this city has become a great city. Not that it never was.
But see, we saw this unification during the World Series.
Right.
But it wasn't to this level, I don't believe.
But, Frank, but I'm talking about, downtown is finally at the peak where it's
red.
grown to where
You
it's...
see, even Carvana, I'll give them some shout-outs. Even they turned their building red.
Yeah. But what about just the growth downtown? It's beautiful. This city is just at a place that it just I have fallen all, not just because of the Chiefs, but man, when you go downtown and you see every building is occupied, people are moving in downtown and the Strawberry Hill, and then the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl.
Now, is it just me? And I know you guys aren't sports fans, so I can't ask you. But when you drive into downtown from Kansas, going north on 35, and you see the Marriott flashing Super Bowl bound with the Chiefs logo, am I the only one that gets butterflies and like a numb feeling every time you see that?
Take it even further. Take it even further. Union Station is red with
the
Super Bowl trophy
up
on top.
Projected onto Union Station now.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, even the whole Chiefs thing aside, anytime I'm outside the city and driving towards downtown, and I just, our skyline is beautiful. Kansas City is a beautiful city.
And this is nothing against people that don't travel, but Kansas City is a small city.
Yeah.
Until you go to L.A. or Seattle or even Denver, you don't understand how small Kansas City really is. And for something like this to happen here it's just...
It's huge.
It's huge for this city.
It is huge.
And it's just great. But
I think, Corey, you need to do a show if we win.
Definitely.
And I'm a 49ers fan, too. I hate to... I know I'm going to catch hell for that, but I got to go Chiefs over 49ers. I got to go... I think they're going to take it by 3.
By 3? That's all you're giving your boys.
I think that's all they're going to get.
3?
But I think they're going to win, but I think it's going to be a very, very...
I'm calling it a touchdown.
Game.
Frank, I hope you're
They're going to
wrong.
win by a touchdown.
I would like to see it at least by a touchdown. Thank you.
Wait, you think you've had heart-stopping games during the season? Wait till this one.
Dude, I don't have it in me.
That's all I can say.
This could possibly be the death of me. I don't... I can't take a nail biter. This needs to be a blowout, man. So
You're going to turn your phone off that night.
I'll probably be somewhere with
We'll
this
probably
guy.
be in the same place.
Yeah.
We've already got a setup, so to speak. We'll call it that.
The setup. All right, congratulations, guys, on a successful relaunch.
Project Slam is now real. We'll be back next Thursday night, 7 to actually 9 instead of 9:16.
And it will be more of a structured show about the things that you would expect tuning in to Project Slam. Rock and roll.
Peace!
Try.